Very good morning to each and everybody. Today I have come to teach class 7 of DPS, all the students. And today I would like to introduce you a new book. The name of the book is Moonbeam, and it is for the course of class 7 English Literature, and it is as per the latest ICSE curriculum. This is the book. And here you're having around 12 chapters, right? You have the Adventure of the Mason, A Merry Christmas, then you have Renegade's Gift, then you have Tippity, then you have Daffodil's Poem, The Stolen Biker's List, then you have Punchlight, so on and so forth. Today, I would like to read out the story The Adventure of the Mason, written by Washington Irving. Let us try to understand the story, The Adventure of the Mason. There was once upon a time a poor mason in Granada. Now, what is the meaning of mason? As I have written it on the blackboard, as you can see in this glossary. Word meanings. Mason is a craftsman who works with bricks and stones to build a structure. Okay? That is the meaning of mason. A man who builds a structure, a building. And Granada, okay, it is a city in Spain. So who could scarcely earn bread? Okay, once there was a man, okay, he was a very poor mason. And he lived in Spain, who could scarcely earn bread for his large family. One night, he was roused from his sleep by a knocking at his door. He opened it and saw before him a tall, thin, and cadaverous looking person. Now, what is the meaning of the word cadaverous? Cadaverous. It means very thin, plain and sickly person. Okay? Please write the meanings in your notebooks. Okay, class 7. Ha! Yea, honest friend, said the stranger, I have observed that you are one to be trusted. Will you undertake a job this very night? With all my heart, Senor. Now, what is the meaning of Senor? In Spanish, when a person wants to give respect to the other person, he says the word Senor. You can see the word here, Senor. Okay? It means in English, Mr. or Sir. Okay? That you shall be, but you must suffer yourself to be blindfolded. Now, what is the meaning of blindfolded? Blindfolded means to put a cloth, okay, on your eyes that you cannot see. Okay, that is the meaning of blindfolded. To this, the mason made no objection. So, being blindfolded, he was led by the stranger through various rough lanes and winding passages until they stopped before the portal of a house. Now, what do you mean by portal? Portal means a large, impressive entrance. It's a very huge, a large, impressive entrance. Okay, where you enter. Then, the stranger then applied a key, then turning a creaking lock and opened what sounded like a ponderous door. Now, what is the meaning of ponderous? Ponderous means heavy. Do not forget to write it in your notebooks. Okay? So, ponderous means heavy. So, it was a very heavy door. They entered. The door was closed and bolted. Bolted means it was given a bolt. Okay? And the mason was conducted through an echoing corridor and a spacious hall to an interior part of the building. Here the bandage was removed from his eyes, and he found himself in a court, dimly lighted by a single lamp. In the center was the dry basin of an old Moorish fountain. What do you mean by the word Moorish? Moorish. Moorish means an Islamic style. An Islamic style of architecture. Okay? That is the meaning of Moorish fountain. Under which the stranger requested him to form a small vault bricks. What do you mean by the word vault? V-A-U-L-T. Vault. Vault means a space for storing the dead bodies. Okay? Then, wall bricks and mortar being at hand for the purpose. He worked all night, but without finishing the job. Just before daybreak, the stranger put a piece of gold into his hand, and having again blindfolded him, and conducted him back to his dwelling. Are you willing, said he, to return and complete your work? Gladly, Senor, provided I am so well paid. Well then, tomorrow at midnight, I will call you again. He did so, and the vault was completed. Now said the stranger, you must help me to bring forth the bodies that are to be buried in this vault. So what did the stranger say? The stranger told the mason that you have to bring those bodies again. And again you have to make a beautiful vault. The poor mason's hair rose on his head at these words. However, he followed the stranger with trembling steps into a retired chamber of the mansion, expecting to see some ghastly spectacle of death, but was relieved on seeing 3 or 4 portly jars standing in one corner. They were evidently full of money, and it was with great labor that he and the stranger carried them to the tomb. The vault was then closed, the pavement replaced, and all the traces of the work were erased. The mason was again blindfolded and led forth by a route different from that by which he had come. After they had wandered for a long time through a confusing maze of lanes and alleys, they halted. So what is the meaning of lanes and alleys? Alleys and lanes means the bylanes, okay, the thin roads, okay, these are called alleys. The dark places, okay, these are called alleys. They halted. What is the meaning of halted? Halted means to stop, okay. The stranger then put 2 pieces of gold into his hand. Into whose hand? Into the hand of the mason, the poor mason. Okay. Wait here, said he, until you hear the cathedral bell. The cathedral bell toll for the morning prayer. If you dare to uncover your eyes before that time, evil will come upon you. So the stranger told the mason. The stranger told the poor mason that do not uncover your eyes. If you take off that cloth from your eyes, what will happen? Evil will come upon you. So saying, he departed. The mason waited faithfully. The moment the cathedral bell rang, he uncovered his eyes and made his way back home. He reveled with his family for a whole fortnight on the profits of his 2 nights' work, after which he was as poor as ever. So what is the meaning of retired, no longer in use, ghastly, horrible, terrifying, bought in stuff? Okay? Right? These are the words that you have to write in your notebook. Right? Okay. Then he continued to work a little from year to year, as he was seated one evening at the door of his hovel. What do you mean by the word hovel? H-O-V-E-L, hovel. Let us see. Hovel means a small, badly maintained house. A small, badly maintained house. Please write the word. He was approached by a rich old Cumudgium. So, Cumudgium means someone who is easily angered and often complaining. Okay? Was who was noted for owing many houses and being a gripping landlord. Now, what do you mean by gripping? Gripping means complaining. The person who always complains, the person who always nags. Okay? That is the meaning of gripping. Correct? The man eyed him for a moment from beneath a pair of thick, anxious eyebrows. I am told, friend, that you are very poor. There is no denying the fact. Say no, it speaks itself. So the stranger is saying that I was told that you are very poor. So the poor old mason says, you can see that I am poor, right? Then, I believe that you will be glad of a job and will work cheap. As cheap, my master, as any mason in Granada. That's what I want. I have an old fallen house into decay, which costs me more money than it is worth to keep it in repair. For nobody will live in it, so I must come up with a way to patch it up and keep it together at as small an expense as possible. The mason was accordingly conducted to a large, deserted house that seemed going to ruin. What is the meaning of ruin? Ruin means to be destroyed. Okay, when an old palace, an old house, when it gets very old, okay, for many years, what happens? All the paint of the wall, it starts falling. Okay, then some parts of the brick of the big palace, okay, it starts to fall. That is the meaning of ruin. Okay, then that's what, okay, I want. I have an old fallen house, right? The mason was accordingly conducted to a large deserted house that seemed going to ruin. Passing through several empty halls and chambers, he entered an inner court where his eye was caught by an old Moorish fountain. He paused for a moment, for a dreaming recollection of the place came over him. Pray, said he, who occupied this house formerly. Apace upon him, cried the landlord. So who cried? The landlord cried. Okay? What did he say? He said, a pest upon him. Okay? Means a bad curse upon him. Why? Because he was an old miser. Now, what is the meaning of miser? Miser is a person who does not want to spend money, who does not want to give money to his employees also. That is the meaning of miser. So it was an old miser who cared for nobody but himself. He was said to be immensely rich. He had no relations. He died suddenly, but nothing could be found except a few gold coins in a leather purse. The worst luck has fallen on me, for since his death, people pretend to hear the clinking of gold all night in the chamber where the old miser slept, as if he were counting over his money, and sometimes a groaning and moaning about the court, whether true or false. These stories have brought a bad name on my house, and not a tenant will remain in it. So when the landlord died, people who were living nearby to the landlord's house, the neighbors, they were saying that in the night, the landlord used to come. And what did the landlord used to do? The landlord used to count the gold coins. The spirit of the landlord, he used to come in and he used to count the gold coins. That means, just think, after the landlord died also, the spirit did not leave the house. His spirit did not leave the gold coins. Okay. Enough, said the mason with determination. Let me live in your house rent free. So the mason told, the person, who had owned the house from the landlord, he said, let me live in your house, but I will not be able to pay the rent. Okay, I will live free until some better tenant present, and I will engage to put it in repair. So your old house, which is in ruin, I will make your house better, and after that, I will leave it for those new people who will come and stay in your house. The offer of the honest man was gladly accepted. He moved with his family into the house and fulfilled all his engagements. Little by little, he restored to its former state. The clinking of gold was no more heard at night, but began to be heard by day in the pocket of the living mason. So the mason who was so poor, he worked day and night. He made that old fallen house, an old fallen palace. He made it into a beautiful palace. And then what happened? The old poor mason, he became so rich that he became just like the landlord who was counting his gold coins, during the daytime. But now, who is counting the gold coins? It is the mason. He was counting the gold coins inside his pockets. Then, in other words, he increased rapidly in wealth to the admiration of all his neighbors and became one of the richest men in Granada. He never revealed the secret of the vault until on his deathbed to his son and heir. So, my dear children of class 7 of the ICSE stream, beautiful story written by Washington, The Adventure of the Mason. Okay, what was the adventure of the mason? That in the beginning we saw that how the mason was so poor and he was taken up by a stranger. He was given a job, and whatever job he was given, he did it to the fullest. And what did he receive? He received a small gold coin. But having faith in God, the old and poor mason kept on working very hard until and unless he met a rich landlord who gave him an old shattered, an old ruined house. But what did the old poor mason did? He made that house beautiful, he made it shining, and then what happened? He earned his bread, and then we see in the story that the old poor mason became the richest man in Spain. So, my dear children, write all the meanings which I have given you, and if you have purchased this book, please read the story not once, not twice, but at least 4 to 5 times, and do the question answers, write the meanings, and then I will see you tomorrow morning. Take care of yourself. Thank you and goodbye.